Hollywood is not really there to entertain you.
If you want to be able to make movies about certain subjects, you have to be willing to work with some people. And, it would be nice if you made it so that this is what we're trying to accomplish.
Are you guys ready for this?
Yeah, we're ready, bro.
I am in the right mindset. See, now you're gonna make them think I'm not, though. You're doing something that's not, like, it's not right.
Oh, look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, "They're trying to kill me."
Yeah.
Help me. Monsters are chasing. Can't you see? Monsters are whispering. Can't you hear? Monsters are shouting.
Talking to them. We're inside the Bohemian Grove. We're actually not inside. We're in the parking lot. Yeah.
We've all heard the stories and conspiracy theories, the thought of dark practices, and infants being sacrificed in front of a 40-foot owl is enraging. Alex Jones infiltrated the July gathering of powerful men. He said it was set up by Mark Twain for liberals, a place where they could go and do whatever they wanted. Many were gay, and those that weren't could be free to choose of S workers that were flown in private jets. For entertainment, they had plays and read poems, even had saloons. So the story begins in 1872, when a group of San Francisco journalists, artists, and actors formed the Bohemian Club. Their mission was to create a space for free-thinking minds to gather, away from the rigid formality of society. But as decades passed, the club shifted. What began as a haven for artists slowly transformed into a private retreat for businessmen, bankers, and politicians. Eventually, it became a yearly encampment known simply as the Grove. Around the time of President Howard Taft, the Republicans bought the 2,700-acre land. Every July, the Bohemian Club hosts its summer encampment, 2 weeks of secrecy, tradition, and elaborate pageantry. The most famous ritual, the cremation of care. Before a 40-foot stone owl, members dressed in hooded robes perform a dramatic ceremony, symbolically casting away their burdens. To outsiders, it looks eerie and almost cult-like, but to members, it's nothing more than theater, or so they claim. It is alleged that the ritual at the Bohemian Grove, called the Cremation of Care, which is the opening ritual for the 2-week event, is really a hidden ritual of Moloch, a god worshipped by Near Eastern cultures, including the Ammonites. Scholars have described the rites differently, but all agree that it involved children and fire. Some accounts describe a hollow bronze statue of a bull-headed god with outstretched arms. The ritual, similar to the cremation of care, is a child would be placed on the red-hot arms of the idol Moloch and burned alive as a sacrifice. In the late 1920s, the club erected a 30 to 40-foot owl shrine overlooking the lake. The Cremation of Care, a theatrical pageant staged on opening night, features robed participants and the symbolic casting away of worldly burdens into the fire. In 2000, a video of the ritual shot by controversial radio host Alex Jones hit the internet, propelling the Grove into a new era of myth. Mainstream coverage noted the strangeness but stopped short of darker claims. The club's response: it's meant to feel ancient and uncanny. The club does not publicly release programs. Most descriptions come from infiltrations, memoirs, leaked documents, and local reporting. Over the last century, the Grove has hosted an extraordinary roster: U.S. presidents and cabinet members, defense and energy executives, central bankers, and financiers. Reporting over the years has linked Richard Nixon, Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush, and others to the club or its encampment, some as speakers, some as regulars. The precise membership list is private, but reputable sources have documented the political and corporate elite who've attended. The Grove is also infamous really, for its gender policy. The club is male only. After years of legal fights, California courts forced the club to hire women as employees during the encampment, while leaving its men-only membership intact. The legal history continues to shape debates about public resources supporting private exclusively. In 1989, Spy magazine reporter Philip Weiss snuck in, describing a mix of old-school frat hijinks, elaborate theater, outdoor urination, and serious after-dinner talks, plus a lot of very powerful men relaxing out of the public view. In the early 1990s, media watch group FAIR summarized the Grove as a place where the who's who of the most powerful men in business and government mingle, a characterization echoed by later reporting. Vanity Fair's Alex Shumatov was arrested while investigating logging plans on the Grove's land, an expose that added an environmental dimension to the Grove's controversies. And then there are the quotes. On the Nixon tapes, Richard Nixon delivered a notorious, bigoted aside about the Grove, confirming that at least he knew it well, and that the atmosphere struck him as, in his words, the most thing you ever imagined.
Let's look at Northern California. You mentioned that. Yeah. You know what San Francisco is gone. It's clear over. I know that, but it isn't. This is just down in the randy part of town now. But the upper class in San Francisco is that way. The Bohemian Grove that I attend, one time at a time, the Easters and the others that come there. But it is the most goddamn thing you will ever imagine in San Francisco crowd, because it's just terrible. I mean, I don't want to shake hands with anybody in San Francisco.
The remark tells us more about Nixon than the Grove, but it underscores how the place loomed in elite culture. Let's separate documented facts from speculation. Location and scale: the Grove is in Monte Rio, Sonoma County, about 75 miles north of San Francisco. Reports consistently place the property at 2,700 acres. Ownership and management: it's operated by the Bohemian Club of San Francisco, founded in 1872. The city clubhouse is still active. Annual encampment: a private men-only gathering each July, featuring theater, concerts, and lakeside talks by prominent figures. Ritual and pageant: the cremation of Care is a theatrical ceremony at the Owl Shrine. It's been filmed and described by multiple sources. Legal history: courts required the club to hire women employees at the encampment, while allowing male-only membership. Security and public interface: local authorities have at times provided paid traffic security services at the gate, drawing scrutiny because of the event's exclusionary nature. Environmental controversies: the club sought and at times fought over timber harvesting on its land, a source of protest and reporting. These are verifiable. Everything else, that's where the theories begin. So Theory A: backroom deal-making and policy planning. The claim is that the Grove is where major policy decisions are floated and aligned, from energy strategy to foreign policy, among people who later enact them. Evidence: off-the-record lakeside talks by major figures are real. Attendees have included presidents and cabinet members. The setting encourages frank conversations. And the reality check is that there is no public record of binding decisions signed at the Grove. It's explicitly off the record. Informal consensus building amongst elites. Given the guest list, that's plausible and arguably the point of elite retreats everywhere. Conclusion: networking and agenda shaping, it's not a provable form of decision making. Theory B. Occult worship at Owl Shrine. The claim is that the owl ceremony is occult or pagan worship. The evidence is the theatrical ritual uses robes, an effigy, and a giant owl statue, and the 2000 undercover video accentuates the eerie vibe. But the reality check is, club literature and reporting describe it as a pageant, campy Victorian theater meant to dramatize casting off care. That doesn't negate the ritualized aesthetic, but there's no credible evidence of literal occult practice. Theory C. The Manhattan Project. Did the atomic bomb project start here? Some sources repeat it, but there isn't any solid proof. Consider this claim unverified. Claim D. Corporate government collusion. Defense contractors and policymakers mingle. That much is true. Whether collusion happens, impossible to confirm. Theory E. Environmental hypocrisy. This one is documented. The Grove sought logging permits, sparking protests and exposes. The Grove covers 2,700 acres of magnificent Douglas firs and redwoods, some over 1,000 years old. As of 2007, there were 118 camps, distributed around the site's central feature, a man-made lake, watched over by a towering owl shrine, where the infamous cremation of care ceremony is held at the beginning of each encampment. To join the Bohemian Club, you must either be invited by several members or wait patiently for decades. And there's a $25,000 initiation fee and a hefty yearly dues. Judging from the roster, which currently numbers about 2,500, it helps to be white and Republican. Grovers have included captains of industry, politicians, and the occasional artist to keep true to the club's well-Bohemian roots. The following men are some of the most well-known attendees, both members and regular guests, of the Bohemian Club encampments, past and present. James A. Baker III, Christopher Buckley, William F. Buckley, George H. W. Bush, George W. Bush, Dick Cheney, Calvin Coolidge, Walter Cronkite, Bing Crosby, John E. DuPont, Clint Eastwood, Dwight D. Eisenhower, Gerald Ford, Barry Goldwater, Merv Griffin, Alexander Haig, Charlton Heston and Herbert Hoover, Jack Hemp, Henry Kissinger, Jack London, Steve Miller, Robert Mondavi, John Moore, Colin Powell, Ronald Reagan, David Rockefeller, Nelson Rockefeller, Theodore Roosevelt, Karl Rove, Donald Rumsfeld, Charles Schwab, Mark Twain, Earl Warren. We don't know who attends in any given year, what is said at lakeside talks, or which casual conversations later ripple into policy. That's by design. While that secrecy isn't illegal, it is politically meaningful. In a democracy, who meets with whom and where matters. So is the Bohemian Grove a harmless theatrical vacation for the powerful, or the redwood-lined incubator of tomorrow's orthodoxy? The truthful answer is, I don't really know, personally. What I do know is it's an elite networking engine wrapped in a ritual theater, sheltered by privacy and rooted in history. What happens here doesn't stay here, it diffuses, person by person, meeting by meeting, into the wider world.